Hello, and today I'm just going to be talking around my new library that I've created. It's called Narod.FullscreenDetector. The namespace isn't actually used, it's essentially just to put my title on it. And you can find it on the NuGet package manager. So here is the page for it. Version 1.1.3 is the latest, and I'll be just talking around the documentation that's on here, as well as an application of how it works. So to start off with, as you can see, it's a .NET library that's written in VB.NET to detect full screen applications and games. I've written a small amount of usage documentation around this using code examples in VB.NET. I know it's not the most optimal programming language for this, but it's something that I know best. So to start with, you would download the latest release, or alternatively, you can get it on the package manager now. It is actually in the GitHub documentation that this pulls from, but it seems to not update that regularly. And if you want to do that, all you need to do is, well, make sure you've not got that currently open. Go into Manage NuGet Packages, and in Browse, you can type in either FullscreenDetector or Narod, and it will show up just there, Narod.FullscreenDetector. That's what this example program uses, and I'll be talking a bit more about that in a few moments here. And as you can see, I'm the author of this. There's no real options here at the moment. And this is the only version that's currently been updated. The previous versions weren't on the package manager, so there's nothing else there. Any updates that come along, though, the package manager will let you know about them, and then you can choose to do them or not. There isn't really that much to change. I'm going to be looking at a few different amendments to make the game detector work a bit better, but generally speaking, it works very well as it is. So if you've added it by the package manager, you can ignore these top two lines, and all you need to do is import it. In C#, that is using, and then full screen detection. You can create an instance of it after that. So that's how you do that in VB. So you need to create a usable object for that. And then you can just get a response from it by calling that object you just made and then running on it. So that's the one for detecting full screen applications, and that's the one for detecting games full screen. As you can see here, so position 0 will be a Boolean, so that'll either be true or false. So if it does detect something, you'll get back 3 different items in the list. You'll have 3 different items in there, so you'll have a Boolean, string, and uinteger. If it doesn't detect anything, you will only be returned this. These 2 won't be returned at all. They won't even be blanks. They just won't be in there. So you'll have a object, which is a list, but with only a single object in there. So it's a bit redundant on the fact whether it says it's true or false, because you could check that anyway, but it's just an easier way of doing things. So if it does detect it, the second item in the list will be a string with the window text of the program it detected. So that you can use that in your own program so that you know what is currently full screen. And then position 2 is the process ID, because if you want to keep track of whether or not it's open or not after you've detected it, you want the process ID because the window title could easily change. In terms of the differences, detect full screen application will return anything it finds that's full screen, and detect game full screen will only try and find games. It's not the best system on how it currently works. It's just got a small list it looks onto to filter out some applications, and at the moment it's only looking for web browsers and removing them. But that will be expanded upon in the future, and I might also make it so that you can have it a little bit better so that the functions make a bit more sense. But that's the basics of how it works. In terms of potential uses, the use case I have is in my rich presence program. The idea of this is so that you can have a rich presence program that can tell Discord no matter what game you're playing. So generally speaking, it's quite good at detecting games, and you can even add your own games. But if you don't want to sit there and add every new game, then you can do that. Or if you want to add some funny information about why you're playing the game, or like a little joke or something on there, whatever you want it, you can make a Discord rich presence program for that. It could also have other uses. For example, I don't know, if you wanted to make some sort of security application, or you're making a project for your schoolwork, for example, that you need something like this for. It works just fine for that. One word of warning though, it will only work on Windows, which is to be expected because it's a .NET application. But if you were to even try to use Wine, I really don't think it would work very well. It does link directly into core Windows functions, and it requires some core Windows libraries. So if it does work, I would be shocked. I haven't tried it, but I imagine it would just crash. And if it did work, it probably wouldn't work properly. So this implementation is really only suitable for Windows. But with that out the way, I'll just drag this back on. So this is essentially a log of what my Rich Presents program is doing, and every 10 seconds it checks Steam and full screen applications. One note is this library is incredibly fast. You can see here that this is a timer. We're in 0.3 of a second, and I'm checking the Steam API. If I turned off Steam API checking, which I have done in the past, you literally can get results that are so low. I've got in before it's saying 0.001 second. Sometimes it's that fast that it just shows 0 seconds. It's just too small of a number for the way I'm calculating times to figure out. So it's a very quick library to run. But yeah, if I do actually open up a game of some sorts, which I will quickly switch on to now. Alright, so I've just opened up a game right now, and as you can see, the timing was pretty much perfect. It's detected full screen application not known inside used API, and it's found the process ID. I've just opened up Slime Rancher as an example. And every 10 seconds you'll see that it is finding it. There's a short gap in there where it didn't because I tabbed out of the game. A thing to note is that you could use the process ID to track whether or not the game's open or not, and that's what I'd recommend still doing if you want to make sure that it's always there. Obviously the information's provided by the library, so you can do whatever you want in that respect. And then if I close the game, in another few seconds here, you'll see that it'll show that it couldn't find the game because I've just closed it down. There it is. So that's an example of how it's used. Thanks for watching. So thanks for watching. I forgot to record this bit earlier, but if you're interested in what you've seen and want to see more videos from me, feel free to subscribe. And if you found this video useful in itself, then press the like button. I will be doing some more videos on the M1 MacBook Pro performance. And I've also got some ideas to make some BeamNG and automation videos. Thanks for watching again.